All right, we're continuing at day 2 of Book Expo America. Richard Solomon, and I'm with Bridget Kinsella from Oakland, California. Really from Oakland, California?
I am from Oakland, California.
There you go. So welcome to New York. Have you had a nice stay here?
We're having a lovely stay here, and the weather's not too humid, so thank God.
Yeah, there you go. I'm surprised they had BEA this year after Memorial Day. Way back when.
They used to always be on Memorial Day. I remember it.
I remember when they actually did it way in like the beginning of May.
Oh, really?
Way back when, yeah.
Okay.
So anyway, so we're with New Harbinger Publications, and I was strolling through, because that's what I do for the radio. I actually don't plan anything.
Okay.
It's more spontaneous and fun that way. And I noticed that some of you had some very interesting and provocative titles. Grieving for the sibling you lost just looked devastating, and I'm sure that that's a really well-needed book, and sadly it is needed. I saw some really things. Co-parenting with a toxic ex. What was that thing here about 50 ways to soothe yourself without food? Do you think about that book?
That's one of our best-selling books, actually, and what we're known for at New Harbinger for 40 years now is creating books that really help people live their lives better. It was founded by a psychologist and another friend of his, and they do books that help people just live better lives. And sometimes we tackle really heavy subjects like grieving for the sibling you lost.
Right, or getting through my parents' divorce.
Getting through your parents' divorce. We have a book coming in the fall, the Gender Quest Workbook, which is a time, obviously that's a big topic in the news right now. And our books are really about helping people with real ways to deal with the issues in their lives. And there's always solutions and real grounded in real therapy that works.
Okay. So what other books can we talk about? Because there's a whole pile of stuff.
We also do a lot of mindfulness books.
Okay.
So this the Buddha's Brain is one of our best-selling titles as well. That's by Rick Hansen. He's just known for his Buddha's writing. The Untethered Soul is this has been featured on Oprah's network already. It's about in our day and age, people aren't really religious so much, and this is a real invitation to be exactly the spiritual kind of person you want to be. What else can I tell you? Mindfulness for teens and children.
Oh, this is one of my adult children of emotionally immature parents.
Actually, you know what? And that's a category that the people who are living that experience really appreciate these books. And you may not give it to the parent, but it really helps people. We have children of the self-absorbed. Like, we really try to help people in every aspect of their lives.
You get into the nitty-gritty of nastiness.
We get into the nitty-gritty of helpfulness.
Of nasty situations. No, look,
and how to make it better.
Look, I can see, the biggest problem that I see out in the world is that there's truly no real support and help for a lot of people in a lot of issues. The internet is not the answer, to a lot of things. They're just either articles or they're really trying to sell you something. Most people can't really afford a lot of very expensive long-term help, especially if you are like a teenager. How are you going to start shelling out money to get help or go see a professional? That
is something you're saying something that we always say here. So we have a lot of therapists who use our books and in their practice, but these can also be used if you don't have the money to go to a therapist. Right. I mean, because it's a book. It's like, $25 book at the most or something. So, and compared to $200 for a therapy session.
For one session.
Exactly.
And let's face it, if you're 14 years old, 17 years old, and you're going through a very hard time, can you really afford, 30 weeks of help?
And we're doing more and more teen stuff. I mean, just read what's in the young adult novels. I mean, what children are really dealing with is a lot of issues, and so we help them with some solutions and some practices, ways to practice things that help them deal with whatever they're dealing with. And anxiety is one of the biggest problems.
Now, do you think that we need this more because society's become more stressful and more problematic?
Well, maybe, okay. And we're all kind of disconnected, but we've been doing it for 40 years, so.
So you've been keeping pace.
We've been keeping. I like that.
Right,
okay.
Right, we're with the curve.
That's fair.
If you need a spokesman, let me know.
Okay.
So, talk about the anxiety and phobia workbook, because I can't imagine that if you're freaking out, you're going to whip out the book and start doing puzzles or something, or
well, it's not really puzzles. I mean, what it is
well,
is really.
Like, why are we depressed or why are we freaking out?
Well, it's actually evidence-based practices that therapists have used. This is sort of like, there's probably not a therapy office that shouldn't have this in their arsenal to help people with their problems. But the layperson who uses this then can take it home, and it's not like workbook as in homework. It's in proven methods, proven exercises to do.
So maybe you should call it the Anxiety and Phobia Toolkit.
Maybe the next edition.
There you go. Call Edmund Byrne. I need to talk to him.
Okay. There you are.
Yeah. So what else? Because this is really fascinating stuff. I mean, I know I'd like to make my show entertaining and light, especially because these are truly tough subjects.
Yes.
Let's put it this way. I'm an attorney by trade, and a lot of the things that I see, litigation is essentially the representation of psychological issues.
Okay.
All right. Negligent hiring, sloppiness, gambling, shortcuts, and then things tend to blow up, and lawyers have to fix what you try to use complicated rules to fix what is underlying psychological issues.
Right.
Business is breaking up because the people who are running it aren't disciplined, or they have emotional hatred for each other, and there's we form a business, you're the money and I'm the idea guy, but what happens is over time it's like, well, there's a resentment because you wouldn't be anything without me, and I say the same thing, no, you'd be nothing without me, and then nothing actually really happens except bitterness. So in many ways I'd love to see...
Well, with our books you don't have to live with resentment ever.
Well, no, but in many ways I'd love to have something like this for the clients that I have that are experiencing, dealing with your, out of whack business partner, and how to, things like that, or choosing the right people to go into business with. Because a lot of times I see essentially these issues coming into play in the courtroom, and the truth is the court is really not equipped at all to deal with any of this.
Right.
And yet, if we got more of this information into people's minds, there'd be almost less litigation, and there'd actually be less stuff out there. Like, it would be helpful. So, yeah.
We'd be happy to get any of our books into their hands. Lawyers or not, it's okay.
Exactly.
We'll take anyone.
So let's talk about the Buddha's brain. What are these? Because it talks about the practical neuroscience. So that sounds a little edgy, as opposed to just straight up wisdom.
Exactly, and it's actually how the brain, works when it is looking for happiness and things like that. So it's not the teachings of the Buddha, but how it helps the brain and how it helps the body, and it's not a practice. It's not like how you practice Buddhism. And then we do things also, like we have a whole series coming out. What Would Buddha Say is the first in the series, where we've had a Buddha expert who, without dumbing down any of it, making this wisdom that's centuries and centuries old available in an everyday, easy, accessible way. So there's an eightfold path with Buddhism, and the first one we're doing is What Would Buddha Say? The second one is How Would Buddha Act? So and so on. So through all the ways that you can bring Buddha into your life in an easy way.
And then I can help you with How Would Buddha Litigate?
Oh, there you are.
So helping your anxious child. There's got to be a lot of anxious children out there because, between self-esteem, body image, peer pressure, everything. That's got to be a really important book.
And anxiety is actually the core for most mental health issues. That's the core of just about every mental health issue.
I never realized that. Yeah, I never realized that. Okay.
And so that's why anxiety is so important to be worked on. And it's different for children than it is for adults, because you can make someone more anxious about it, and that's as a child, that's the last thing you want to do. So
now, is that book written for a teenager, a toddler, all the years? What age group are you really targeting in that kind of book?
It's any child who you can reason with and have a conversation with. Okay. So, and that can be through the teen years. We are doing actually a whole line of teen books.
Okay.
Which, if you wanted to see those, actually this side might be better.
We're walking over to the teen aisle.
Okay, so we're doing a whole selection of teen books that are building on the strengths of our workbooks, where you can do exercises and stuff. We are making these smaller, accessible books. Like the Mindful Teen just came out, and it's one of our most successful ones. It's powerful skills to help you handle stress one moment at a time. And these are written for, by experts who are working with teens on their issues and their health, but in ways that teens can relate to. And in today's day and age, like the one Express Yourself, which by the way is coming out on Monday. This author, her entire practice is helping teen girls. Wow. Because when she was a teen girl, when she went to therapy, she couldn't find the right people to just talk to. So Express Yourself really is all about helping teen girls find their own voices. And again, it's wonderful if you can go to a therapist, but if you can't,
who's got the money?
Some people do. Yeah. But this is, I don't remember how much it is, but it's
certainly affordable.
It's the price of a book.
Right.
So
I'll tell you one thing. I noticed that your book covers are really great. All right, they really are great.
The art department will be very happy to hear that.
I'm telling you, because the books, they're bright, they are clear, and they really capture your eye. One of the things I can tell you is when you walk through Book Expo, you see just tons and tons and tons and tons of books, and at some point they become a little blurry and fuzzy. But when I walk by here, the books hit me far away, and then what drew me in as I started reading all the titles, I'm like, wow, that's really important. Wow, that's really a tough topic. Wow, that's really, really needed. And that pulled me in even further. So you really do a very good job with that.
Well, thank you. Well, we pride ourselves on being about clear thinking. So clear thinking, hopefully clear covers. So that I'm glad that translates to that.
All right, cool. Do you have a website for all your titles, like a one-stop web portal that everybody can go to?
newharbinger.com, and we have things from our books, but also our author's blog on there and things like that. So.
All right, so it's new, HARBINGER.com.
New Harbinger.
New Harbinger. Right.
Okay,
I was just getting the, in case people don't know how to spell the Harbinger.
Okay.
Yeah, because it's radio.
It is.
And I want to thank Bridget from Oakland, California, for sharing some time with us. By the way, if you're visiting, she is in aisle 2900 in booth
2951.
There you go. At BEA, and they'll be here on day 3. So
yes,
good luck.
We will be here through BookCon too.
Oh, good, because I have a press pass for that too.
Okay, she's signing on Saturday.
So let me ask you a question. What is the difference between Book Expo America and BookCon? Because I wasn't really clear. Is it just industry versus consumer?
Yes.
Okay.
That's exactly what
the first person. Why'd they start the show half a day yesterday?
Oh, I don't know.
I mean, you have all the psychology people.
I don't really know, but it seemed to work.
Okay.
So they've been experimenting with the schedule, and I think they're just trying to see what works.
As an exhibitor, what do you prefer?
This is actually personally my first year as an exhibitor.
Right, but you have a preference for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. You don't care. Okay.
We just like it when people show up and we get to talk to them about our books.
And you get to talk to the media.
And it's happened all day, yesterday and today and will tomorrow.
What kind of vibe are you getting from the people coming by?
Upbeat vibe, actually. Yeah.
Are you seeing more consumers, more retailers?
Well,
a little mix of everything?
We're always happy to see the retailers for the trade show part, because that's really what we're here for. But we're seeing a lot of librarians and educators, especially with our teen titles.
Okay.
That's really important. So it's been great. It's been a steady stream.
All right. Well, thank you for spending some time with us. I really appreciate it. Thank you.